Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have an exciting one because in this video you'll be learning 4 ways to improve your forehand and not only throw further but throw a lot smoother and more consistent. And now if you've watched these videos before, you'll know I personally suck at throwing sidearms. You're wondering, man, I'm gonna give you 4 ways? No. Today I have a great guest joining me. He is the forehand maestro himself, throws bomb sidearms, and it is none other than Nico from Myron Disc Golf. And if you don't know him, I'll put his socials in the link below, but he's gonna be explaining everything in this video, kind of breaking down sidearms and hopefully helping you throw a lot further. So take it away.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the intro. And I hope you guys can come here to learn something. 4 tips, and to break it down simply, you got to focus on the arm, the body, mostly the hips, the relationship between the two, and finally visualizing so you can execute. Tip number 1 for the arm: to create lag and to let it flow, which means you're getting your elbow out front. And how I see it and how I snap my forehands out is by seeing a line, allowing my elbow to somewhat get on that line, follow through the line. You want to let it be naturally coming through, and you'd kind of be surprised. I'd say maybe it'll feel unnatural, and maybe getting your elbow in front is gonna make you shank a couple, but once you give it like a little bit of practice, a little bit more time, creating that lag and then letting it flow through is going to start to feel natural and inevitably give you a lot more power and control. For getting the elbow in front, I would say let the disc stand still for a little and maybe don't let it move, and feel your elbow move first. So you can see right there it's not moving and it kind of stays in the same spot. Body, mostly the hips. The tip is activation, and pretty much you're gonna want to feel your hips activate. And once you're throwing forehands, once you got it down, you're not gonna want to like be feeling it activate. It's gonna happen naturally, but maybe starting out and developing your forehand in the early stages, you are gonna wanna feel that activation and be a little more conscious of it. So pretty much you're starting closed and you're moving up to your shot. A little bit of footwork just to see if you want to go. This is mostly what I'm doing for my footwork on forehands, just right there. And it's a pause here, and then you're engaging. Similar with like a backhand, you know, it's getting into the right spot so then you can engage everything. You're going to want to do something similar where you start closed away from your target. You're slowly getting in position to allow for a hip movement to open up to where you're throwing pretty much. Cue number 2 for tip number 2, which is the hips. Feel the front side of your hip. So if you're righty, feel the left hip move from where you're aiming to parallel to where you're aiming. So maybe imagine it like this, and it goes from here to there, here to there. It's not going to come fully out, but get that shift. And yeah, that's it for the hips and body. The hip, body, and arm relationship tip would be, once again, a little bit of lag. And once again, when you're trying this out, it's going to feel weird. First with the elbow coming first, and now with the body to arm lag, which I'll explain as letting your hips go before your arm goes. So slowing it down, it would look something like closed, ready to open, arms back, create some lag, open it up, and then let it snap out. And that's somewhat what the timing is. As you work it in, like I said, like that's all gonna happen within less than a second. It's gonna be hips, elbow, snap in that order, and maybe thinking about it like that will help in the beginning, and then as you work that in, you forget about it and you're popping them out with speed. The last one, and honestly somewhat most important, I think a lot of people can learn how to swing, and the timing doesn't have to be perfect, and you can still get a disc pretty far as long as you can understand where your disc is coming out and at what trajectory it's coming out. I feel like I see a lot of people lining up forehands maybe like this, and they're trying to pop it out flat at like eye height, but naturally your arm's gonna swing through low. So first acknowledging that your release point is somewhere down here, or if you're throwing maybe an Annie, it's somewhere up here, still pretty low. I've said this tip to some people, and you pretty much want to throw it 3 feet above the ground with a slight nose up. And that's going to go against like certain maybe like other tips, or like a weird thing of conceptualizing, like you don't want to throw nose up because you've thrown forehands that just go straight up. But I've found when in my head I imagine the disc is 3 or 4 feet off the ground with a nose up, and when I say nose up, I mean like this is dead flat and that's nose up. It's not a lot. Knowing where your disc's coming out, and then knowing what trajectory it needs at that height to get a full flight or whatever flight you need. I just know that on days when I can't throw good forehands, it's because I have a hard time imagining how my forehand's going to come out and where it's going to go. And on days when I know that it's coming out low at a certain trajectory, being able to visualize that is pretty much the first, and also, in my opinion, biggest step toward throwing the disc where you want it to go.
Hey guys, just wanted to close this video out. For some reason, the clip we filmed in person, I didn't have it saved in my files, so I'm just filming this to close the video out. Some of the things Nico wanted to mention in this video include: 1, learning new things takes time, and that is no different from the sidearm. Make sure not to force anything. Make sure that you're understanding that stuff takes time to commit to muscle memory. But once you do this process repetitively and continue to learn and grow, stuff will stick and you'll become much better at throwing sidearms. And then 2, you also wanted to mention disc selection. Make sure that you don't necessarily copy what other people are throwing. A lot of pros, I should say, throw a lot of overstable stuff like Firebirds or Destroyers or something along those lines. And it's important that you yourself have a different arm speed, you throw differently, so certain discs will work best for you. So make sure to keep that in mind. Don't think that you have to throw a Firebird for your sidearms or something overstable in order for them to be successful. Make sure you try things out, stuff that's more understable or just similar to what your arm speed is when you're starting out. And lastly, huge shout out to Nico. I'm super appreciative of him to take time out of his day to film this video. I think this is his second video on the channel, but this is really his first video ever trying to help others with coaching and tips. Stoked he was able to come out and film this video with me. Hope you found it very beneficial. If you want to support us, I have his Instagram and YouTube channel linked in the bio below. Give him a subscribe, follow him on Instagram, and make sure to stay tuned to some news because we have some exciting stuff coming out. If you want to support me, I own a disc golf store called Disc Zone in Santa Cruz, California. I have an online store at www.disczone.com. If you want to support, the link will be in bio below. But besides that, that kind of does it for this video. Super appreciative of you guys watching, and I hope to be making some more content soon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.